Okay, in this video we're looking at the additional practice. And so if we have vertical angles, they're going to be congruent. So we're going to set the algebra equal to each other, set the algebra equal, set the algebra equal. And then we have a paragraph proof. We'll look at this one when it comes. But this angle and this angle are going to be congruent. And we'll have to see what else they tell us about the other part of it. So if we look at number one, we've got these two are vertical angles. They're on opposite sides of the x. So the measure of whatever 5x is got to be equal to the measure of 3x plus 60. Take away 3x from both sides. 2x's is 60. Divide by 2, x is going to be 30. So we found out that x was 30. And then the measure of each angle then is going to be 5 times 30, which is going to be 150. So the measure of the angle is 5 times 30, or 150. If we check the other side, 3 times 30 is 90, plus 60 also gives us 150. No. No. Okay, for number two, here we have a pair of vertical angles again. So 3x minus 40 is equal to x plus 20. Take x away from both sides. 2x's minus 40 is equal to 20. Add 40 to both sides. 2x's is 60. X is going to be 30 again. Now if x is 30, 3 times 30 is 90. 90 take away 40 is going to be 50. If we check the other side, 30 plus 20 also gives us 50. So the measure of the angle is 50 and x is 30. If we look at number 3, these are vertical angles. So 3x plus 2 equals 5x minus 78. Take away 2 from both sides. 3x equals 5x minus 80. Take away 5x from both sides. Minus 2x's equals minus 80. Divide by negative 2. X is going to be 40. Now if x is 40, then 3 times 40 plus 2 is going to be 122. And we could do 5 times 40, which is 200, take away 78, and that's also going to be 122. So the measure of those angles are 122. Let's look at number 4. They want us to write a paragraph proof based on the given information. They're telling us that angle A is congruent to angle BDA. So BDA is this angle here. So these two angles are congruent to each other, which lets us say that 5x is equal to this angle, and these two are going to be equal to each other. So that's how the proof needs to go, and x should end up being 15. So we could say that with the given information, angle A is congruent to angle BDA. So the measure of angle BDA is 5x. And then we could say the measure of angle BDA is equal to the measure of angle CDE, because they're vertical angles. So it leaves us with 3x plus 30 equals 5x, and 2x's equals 30, so x equals 15, and we're done. Let's look at the next one. Here it wants to complete this proof. So let's see. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. So those two angles are congruent to each other. And they want us to prove that angle 6 plus angle 2, that these two angles added together make 180 degrees. So kind of what's going on with this one is angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair. So these two together are going to make 180 degrees. Angle 7 and angle 6 are vertical angles. So angle 2 and angle 6 are really going to be the same angle as each other. And that's also the same thing as angle 1. And so that's going to leave us able to say that angle 6 and angle 2 must also be 180 degrees. Let's see how we can do this. So we're given that angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. That's our given. Then we want to say that angle 6 and angle 7 are congruent. Angle 6 is congruent to angle 7. And then since, let's see. So by substitution, we could say that angle 1 is congruent to angle 6. We have 1 congruent to 7. We have 7 congruent to 6. So that leaves 1 congruent to 6 by substitution. So substitution property of equality. So since these are congruent angles, the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 6, and that's the definition of congruent angles. Now 1 and 2 are a linear pair, or they're supplementary. So linear pairs are supplementary, which means they add to 180. And angle 6 and angle 2 then, since 1 is the same as 6, we're going to substitute 6 in for 1 and 5 from 4, and that's going to give us angle 6 and angle 2 added together makes 180. So it's going to be substitution. Property of equality. And we're going with step 4 and step 5 and substituting those in. Okay, let's look at number 6, the last one here. Okay, let's see what we have with number 6. So A and L are parallel streets. N forms a 75-degree angle with L south of the intersections. That means this is a 75-degree angle there. What angle does N make with street L north of their intersection? Well, we can see that these two angles make a straight angle. They're a linear pair. So 180 take away 75 leaves us with 105 degrees. And let's see, we could also, what else could we do? So I guess that's the answer they're looking for this. So we have, we need to justify our answer. So we could have, let's number these angles so we can refer to them. Let's call this angle 1 and angle 2. So we could say that the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 because they're supplementary. Because they're supplementary angles. And that means that if measure of angle 1 is 75 degrees, then measure of angle 2 must be 105 degrees, because 180 minus 75 equals 105. And so we found the measure, and then we gave the reasoning behind it.